602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all calls. We're about to get into it. We're going to be talking Jets, Ravens, Jets, Ravens. We're going to be talking about, what's going on with the New York Jets. So give me 1 second, folks. We'll connect the lines again, and we'll get right back to it. Hold on.
Blog Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. We are talking today. And let me tell you something. We have a lot to discuss. The New York Jets have a game coming up. It's going to be our season opener, and we're going to be playing against these Ravens. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be playing against these guys. It's real time now. It's time for us to really get shaken, really get popping, and see what's going on around here. So, listen, before I go ahead and go off, because I can go all day about the Jets, let's go ahead and get into it. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. Now, your boy is on iTunes, okay? Go to iTunes, search The Long Beach Joe Show, The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Hit that subscription button, okay? Hit that subscribe button, all right? And give your boy some feedback, you know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel about what I'm doing over here in my show, all right? And I want to thank everybody that does that. All right. Your boy is also on Twitter as well. YoungJ000. YoungJ000 on Twitter. Also at The Long Beach Joe. At The Long Beach Joe on Twitter as well as the show's page. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. Let's go back and forth. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. And listen, if you want to catch the shows live, okay, you want to catch them live and see what's going on with your boy, then guess what you can do? Come on over to Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, and hit that subscription button and hit that thumbs up button as well. And again, when you hit that subscription button, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know, okay? So I love doing that. I love when you folks do that. Also share the show as well. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. You want to know why I call my chat the savages? Because they're savage. Man. Straight savage. Listen, anybody can get it, and nobody's safe. Okay? Not even me. You come up here with a bad take about the New York Jets, they're going to let you have it. All right? They're going to let you have it. So, as we get into the show, all right, we got a lot of things moving and shaking right now. Again, the Jets have a game coming up against the Ravens. We're going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing some of the things the New York Jets have done, extensions or restructures that the New York Jets have done with deals. We also got guys, that we signed to the practice squad too since the last show. But before we get into that, let me tell you, there's a lot of brilliant football minds, okay, that go on about the New York Jets. We got some really good writers. And so tonight is going to be a special treat, a very special treat. We're going to have Antoine Staley come on. Now, again, Antoine Staley is a Jets reporter and columnist for the New York Daily News. This is a guy that knows football, okay, in and out. So we're going to have him come on, and we're going to be discussing with him this upcoming game that the Jets have against the Ravens and some of his thoughts on this football team. Antoine, I want to welcome you to the show. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And so the first question I want to start off with you, Antoine, because you're a guy that completely understands what's going on around here. What are your thoughts on the job Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh have done kind of changing the direction of this franchise?
Well, it was not a good job to begin with when Robert Saleh took over. And, I thought it was I mean, they ended up hiring Adam Gase, and then they ended up hiring Joe Douglas after that, which I thought was didn't make a lot of sense. But at least now you have the general manager and the head coach kind of on the same page, and I think you're starting to see, especially this particular draft, what they're trying to do and the plan they're trying to implement. It's just going to take some time, I believe, for all to come together. But, I like the draft that they had. I like the free agent signings that they made. And, I think, it's all going to come together eventually for the franchise.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking there as well. When you look at how we've kind of transformed, this was a place that really was not a destination at first for free agents whatsoever. And you have a lot of guys coming in now saying, hey, we want to be a part of what the New York Jets are doing because of Sulla and Joe Douglas. Now, the Jets are dealing with the situation right now at their quarterback position. Of course, we're hoping to get Zach Wilson back at some point. There's going to be discussion about that coming Wednesday. Again, he's did his workout. He's coming off that bone bruise meniscus tear. He's had that arthroscopic surgery. I believe it was August 16th. Now, when we do hope to get him back, what are your expectations for him as this season, continues on? What are your expectations for him when he returns?
Well, I don't want to put a number on it, but I just expect him to continue to grow and, maturate. And from what he did last year, I thought last year he tried to force a lot of passes and the coverage and, did too much, felt like he had to win the game, kind of like what he did at BYU. And you don't necessarily need him to do that at this level. You have playmakers, you have skill position players that can also help you out as well. So, yeah, I expect him just to, take a little bit better care with the football. Obviously, the preseason game that he did play in, he threw a really bad interception. But, you hope that he can, get past some of those, missteps that he had last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're hoping. Again, down the stretch, he was a guy that played a bit better, especially when he came back from that PCL injury that he had. No interceptions the last 5 games, really started to see things kind of smooth out for him. Now, if Zach does, not play, let's say the first week or maybe even the second week, and we have to go to Joe Flacco, what do you expect from Joe Flacco, if he must play before Zach returns? Are you expecting kind of a solid veteran hand, or what do you expect him to kind of do out there?
I mean, you know what you're going to get from Joe Flacco. I mean, he's not a mobile guy. He's going to select somebody that sits back in the pocket and, just try to deliver passes, intermediate passes there. So, and you hope he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, although, in the preseason game that he did play in, he made a crucial mistake against the Giants. But, yeah, you expect something to just kind of, just dink and dunk a little bit and, not force a lot of balls in there in the coverage. And I think that's, the Jets feel like that if they need to go to Joe Flacco for game 1, at least they feel like they can win the game with him in there.
Yeah, that's where, and I'm glad that Joe Douglas made sure that we brought some veteran guys in here. Again, we're talking about Joe Flacco right now, but Mike White is also another veteran guy who was a little up and down in the preseason, but we've seen him perform well when the lights are on against big teams. So I'm excited that the New York Jets covered that backup quarterback position, because again, we've seen around this league that backup quarterbacks matter, especially when guys go down like our starters went down. They can keep you afloat. They can make sure your team doesn't fall off of a cliff offensively when you actually end up losing your starting quarterback. Again, we're speaking with Antoine V. Staley, Jets reporter and columnist for the New York Daily News. Now, Antoine, do you think the Jets' offensive line will be able to dominate in the trenches with Becton being lost for the season?
Oh, I think they're better offensive line than, either Becton that played, because, I mean, no disrespect to, Mekhi, but, getting a guy like, Dwayne Brown at the left side, I definitely, despite him being older, and you still have George Mann, even though I know he's moving to the right side of position he didn't necessarily want to play, and then you have Lincoln Tomlinson there to go along, with the other guys that they have. I definitely think, I think they have a much better offensive line than what they did a year ago. So I don't know if I would say dominate, but I feel like they're in a much better place than what it was a year ago, especially when you have a veteran presence like a Dwayne Brown come over, somebody that, still playing at a relatively high level.
Yeah. And when you look at this offensive line, what are your thoughts about a guy like Elijah Vera-Tucker? Do you feel like he is a guy that can really step up and step forward and become maybe a top guard in this league? A lot of people already refer to him that way. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's starting to see a little bit of signs of that, from him, and having guys like Thomason, who's been a veteran in this league. I definitely think could help him, and also of course you still have George Fant, who will be over there on the right side with him, and of course Dwayne Brown, who's played in this league and played at a high level. So yeah, I definitely think he's played some good football over the course of the time he's been with the Jets, and I expect him to continue to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when we talk about this offensive line and the offense kind of taking a step forward, I think a big part of that is the running game definitely stepping up too. Do you think we'll see the Jets running game have more success with Michael Carter and Breece Hall in that backfield?
Yeah, I think naturally, yeah. I mean, I don't think the running game was was great last year, but now you add a guy, Brees Hall, who I thought was the best running back in the draft. You team him up with Michael Carter. I definitely think that's going to be a huge, compliment for Zach Wilson as well. Feeling like he, again, doesn't feel like he has to do it all by himself. He can have a running game where he can kind of rely on those two guys to get him yards, especially in early downs. So he doesn't feel like he's in a whole lot of third and long situations. So yeah, I think the running game will be really key to Zach Wilson and the Jets' offensive success this year.
Yeah, and I think that was a big, like you said as well. It definitely wasn't something that people could hang their hats on last season because we've struggled. We definitely struggled at time. I think we only had 100-yard rusher the entire year, and it was Carter against Jacksonville. Michael Carter, played as well as he could, but I think a big part of that also was our offensive line not opening up holes. But with the improved line, I think we'll definitely see the reemergence and recommitment to the New York Jets running the football, especially, again, with us running this Shanahan offense, which is all about making sure you get yards on the ground. Now, going to the defensive side, what are your thoughts on Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson? Do you think the Jets pass rush is just going to really maul people this season?
I don't know about maul, but I definitely think they're going to have to be able to at least keep him contained, and also keep the Ravens running backs contained too as well. This is a Ravens team that's very physical on both sides of the ball. They like to hit you in the mouth. They're bullies. So I think you kind of have to really match their intensity too as well. And not just Jermaine Johnson, but jobs like the Myers. You have Michael Clemens. Like you have a really deep defensive line there for the Jets too. I think it's the strength of their football team. And I mean, just to say that Jermaine Johnson's not even going to start, but yeah, he's definitely going to be a factor on their defense. And I think that's a testament of what they're trying to do, and also the depth that they have there on the team. So I don't think it's just about those guys. I think it's definitely about the whole defensive line as a whole. Just it's a rotational piece there where they can rotate guys in and out and keep them fresh, and hopefully try to match the Ravens' intensity.
Yeah. And you talked a little bit about the Ravens. Do you think the Jets pass rush will be able to get after Lamar Jackson?
I mean, I think they can. Yeah. I mean, he's so elusive, so it's always difficult to try to get a handle on somebody like that. But yeah, I think they have the playmakers to be able to, at least, make him a little nervous inside the pocket there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. The biggest thing I don't want to see the Jets do is overrun, Lamar and give him lanes to get running. Because boy, oh boy, you let that happen, he'll have a day. Because it can get really rough against him. But as we continue to talk about this defense, when you heard about C.J. Mosley's contract restructure, how did you feel about it?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I think he's one of your best player, arguably your best player defensively right now. So, to be able to, gain some cap relief that way, and he's going to be on the team moving forward, at least next year, and maybe the year after that. Then they can just move that money over. So I don't necessarily have big feelings about it. They needed to get some cap room. Add some during the season. So that was kind of the best way to go about it.
Yeah. That's the way I looked at it. And again, thank you, Mike McCagnon, for that situation, because boy, oh boy. But we'll see again how, the New York Jets handle the situation going forward with his contract. But what are your thoughts about the Jets linebacking core? Because that was another focus, I think, of people this offseason, just looking at it. A lot of people thought it was weak, but then when we got K'Wan Alexander, he kind of shored up, the other side of the position. So now you got Quincy Williams, K'Wan, and Mosley out there. How do you feel about how we're looking there at linebacker?
I think there's still a bit of some questions there. I think Quan has had some, good years in the past, but I definitely think a lot of people would say his best years are behind him. He doesn't, obviously think that, but he's had some good years in this league, and Robert Saleh believes he can have that again. Quincy Williams has, been up and down at times, and then you have C.J. Mosley, who's I think still playing at a relatively high level. So yeah, I think it's an average group that still has a lot to prove, and but they do have talent on that side of the ball.
Okay. Now, when you look at this Jets secondary and you see Sauce Garner, what stands out to you about him the most and his skill set?
Well, probably his length and just his ability to stay with defenders there. I saw a lot of them in college at Cincinnati, and kind of a lot of their skills that he displayed in Cincinnati, they're kind of translating at least so far to NFL. Just being able to stay with receivers there and shadow them, and that's why you end up having quarterbacks that not even attempt to throw his way through the preseason. Obviously, that's going to change in the regular season, but he did a great job during the preseason and didn't get burnt there, and was so good that quarterbacks decided to go the other way. So I definitely have enjoyed watching him, and I definitely think he's in a good place, and I think that's partly why he's going to start defensively for the Jets.
Yeah. Do you think the Jets secondary has any glaring holes?
Yeah, I think safety, one of the safety spots, especially with LaMarcus Joyner, is definitely a big question there. He missed a lot of time last year, and but prior to that, when he was with the Raiders, I know he was playing out of position there, but he definitely had some struggles there in the secondary. But yeah, I think if that's one area I would definitely look at. It would probably be that that second safety spot opposite Jordan Whitehead.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens going forward with LaMarcus Joyner. But like I said, I'm so excited about Whitehead as well. I know there was a lot of talk about him, having issues in coverage, or people were wondering what he was going to look like. But he came out and talked about, hey, I wasn't asked to do a lot of that, but I can do it. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring out there. Now, Antoine, it's been amazing speaking to you. It's going to be my final question before I let you go. You've really been bringing the heat. What is your kind of preview for the game? What is your breakdown of the game between the Jets and the Ravens, and what is your final score prediction for the game as well?
I won't give the score prediction because I have that in an article later on this week, so
okay.
I'm not really able to get that out yet. Okay. But I will just say the keys to the game are basically, for the Jets to be able to, slow down the run. If you can slow down the run and be able to contain, Mark Andrews and, Will Likely and the tight ends, I definitely think that'll help the Jets defense a ton. That we're going to see how much they've improved. And offensively, no matter who the quarterback is, be able to rely on that running game. Don't make mistakes there, and be able to make your intermediate passes there as well. So yeah, I definitely think the Jets want to start out fast. Like again, I talked about matching their intensity early on, and I think if the Jets are able to do that, then they might be able to stay in this and have a shot to win it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Listen, Antoine, it has been amazing speaking with you. It's been phenomenal. I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. You were absolutely great. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
All right, thank you.
All right, you have a good night. For those of you, man, Antoine Staley coming on and giving us some takes, man. Whoa. Again, we want to thank Antoine for coming on. He's the Jets reporter and columnist for the NY Daily News. Phenomenal stuff that he writes. Again, I want to thank him for coming on. Man, with some takes. So now we're going to get to discussing the Jets. We're going to start talking a little bit more about some of the moves that we have made, some of the things that we have done. Again, since the last show, the Jets signed 13 players to the practice squad: Chris Streveler, Tariq Black, Irvin Charles, Kenny Yeboah, Chris Glazer, Grant Hermans, Bradley Anai, Jonathan Marshall, Tenzel Smart, Hamza Nezruddin, DQ Thomas, Will Parks, Calvin Jackson Jr. as well, who actually ended up getting released. We've also seen him as well. Vinny Curry is going to the IR due to his hamstring. He's going to short-term IR, so it's going to be a minimum of 4 games. So then they brought in Marcel Harris as well. The Jets also signed linebacker Shaz Surratt and Craig James to the practice squad too. Then the Jets turned around and signed Connor McDermott, and then they released Knight, the running back that we all thought was really going to be a stick for the New York Jets on the roster, which was kind of crazy. Like, we were all like, whoa. So now Ty Johnson, which is surprising, actually makes the roster here for us. It's insane, man. It's insane. We're looking at Carter, Hall, and Ty Johnson. I don't think anybody predicted that. And then out of nowhere, the New York Jets, again, as I spoke with Antoine, restructured C.J. Mosley's contract, and it saved them $11.9 million on the 2022 cap. And then they converted the $14.88 million of his guaranteed $16 million base salary into a signing bonus and added two void years, which allows them to prorate the bonus over 5 years. Let me tell you something. His contract will have to be addressed again next season. It's going to have to because it increases quite heavily. It goes from $18.5 million to $21.5 million. Woo! That is crazy, folks. Whoa. I mean, you're spending money like that. It is completely insane. Mike McCagnon, he's the one that did it. Boy, oh boy. Then you also see the New York Jets held a workout for Zach Wilson at practice that was closed to the media. Again, the practice included him throwing and running. So just trying to check and see if that knee was okay. Sulla did come out and say that he looked good, he felt good, but they're still trying to feel things out as far as how the knee's going to respond to the situation. Again, he also came out and said that, hey, they're going to announce whether he's going to play Wednesday. My whole thing about this, and we'll get to the lines in just a second. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, Wednesday is going to be the day where they officially announce whether Zach Wilson is going to be playing in this upcoming game, Week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be crazy. It's going to be real crazy to see. Again, I don't want Zach Wilson out there unless he is fully healthy and ready to go. At this point, it kind of puts us at that 3-week mark. The initial diagnosis was 2 to 4 weeks because he was dealing with that bone bruise and all these things. So we'll see what happens going forward. I just want him out there 100% healthy when he is fully ready. I don't want him out there a second before that. If we have to put Joe Flacco out there against the Ravens, I have no issues with that whatsoever. Put him out there, allow him to do his thing. Don't, put this young kid at risk if we don't have to. Again, the Jets coaching staff has also echoed those sentiments as well. But, the situation is tight. It's very, very tight there. So we'll see what happens with Zach Wilson going forward. And we'll see if they actually announce that he's going to play Week 1 against the Ravens. It's going to be kind of crazy to see. So, we got these Ravens coming up. Lamar Jackson. We got some guys, man. These guys can get after it, let me tell you. They got some players over there, and I think he's one of the guys we're immediately going to have to figure out how to corral because I'm telling you, once he gets running and gets going, it's going to be a long day for us. I want to see the New York Jets defense get after him, but don't overrun it. Keep your lanes, keep your pressure on him, but don't let this guy squeak out because the second that he does, boy, oh boy, will you have a long day ahead of you, okay? I do not want to see that. I truly, truly don't. So I'm very concerned about the New York Jets pass rush, overrunning plays, and their wide receiver core, like guys like Bateman and Duvernay. I think we match up pretty well there with our corners, but Andrews is a guy that I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing how the New York Jets handle him defensively. Our linebacking core is going to be tested. I want to see if maybe they put a corner on Andrews. Maybe we see a lot of Sauce Garner. So we'll see what happens, there going forward there too. It's going to be very interesting. I think he is one weapon, and you look at historically, the New York Jets have had issues covering tight ends. I think he's one weapon we're definitely going to have to look at and figure out how to stop for sure. But if our pass rush can really get after it, I could really see us having some real big effect in this football game, especially if we're hassling Lamar Jackson. It's a very physical football team, too, with the Ravens. They can run the ball. Dobbins is a guy that, again, we'll see where he's at and if he's going to be able to, go, because there's been some talk about him, his injury that he's dealing with as well. But a lot of people talking about Dobbins being a guy that's going to be out there week 1. So we have to look at that too. He's a strong runner. The New York Jets have had issues, especially last season, stopping the run. And I want to see, because we talk about being improved, we have to stop the run, because this is a team that's going to come in and run the football effectively. We play a lot of teams, this year that have really solid running games. So I want to see how we're going to handle that. Now, offensively, again, I'm kind of leaning at this point that Zach is not going to play. I'm leaning more towards Flacco at this point. I would be a little surprised if they announced that he was going to play week 1. Again, I know that he's healing well, but again, 2 to 4 weeks, I want to, I think the 4th week, allow him to really heal, get everything done. I think everything will be good. If he does play, I'm really looking to see what we get out of Zach. He's got to start. And again, outside of that one, series that he had against in preseason, there's been nothing else. So I wonder if he can come back and kind of cook up that chemistry pretty fast, really get going, get the offense going fast. I also want to see how LaFleur handles the situation too. If Zach does play, can you get him some easy throws? Can you get him some stuff going so that he can pick up steam pretty fast? I want to see if that's something that he's going to be able to do as well. If he doesn't, and we have to go with Joe Flacco, can you ensure that Joe is going to be going there, be solid? Can you cook up some things that's going to allow him to get the ball out of his hands quickly? So we'll see what happens going on there with the quarterback situation, which is going to be interesting. We'll be discussing that tonight as well, too. Also want to see the New York Jets run the football effectively. This is a Ravens team that is very tough. That defense, Calais Campbell, they got Justin Houston. They got a couple other guys that really get after it as well. This is a tough football team full of strong men. They play serious grown men football up there in the AFC North, and they're going to bring it to us. So I think we have to be prepared there as well. I want to see if this New York Jets offensive line is going to be able to really win in the trenches. Are we what we believe that we are? This is going to be one of the biggest tests. This is the starting test. This is going to be the test to see, hey, can you match up with some of these other teams that are going to be out there competing? Can you get it done? So I want to see if this Jets football team is definitely going to be able to run the football. I want to see the usage of our tight ends. That's going to be interesting as well, too. How he's going to handle C.J. Uzama. Conklin, is he going to have a big impact in this game? That's a question as well. I also want to see how our wide receivers are going to match up against their corners. They got Peters. They got other guys as well. Again, it's looking like Peters might play week 1. He's coming off of a big injury too. But he talked about, hey, my body's feeling how his body's feeling. He'll know when he gets out there. So a lot of people are talking about that he's going to play week 1. They also got Humphrey as well out there at corner too. So I want to see, how our wide receivers are going to match up. We talk about this wide receiver core all the time. Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, all these guys that we have. What kind of matchups, are going to be out there, and can our wide receivers win those matchups? I think it's going to be huge to see how we handle that situation. Our offense, it's going to be very interesting, but I really want to see how our offense is going to respond, how our offense is going to, kind of step into the season, because I think that was one of the biggest questions, last season, was this offense going forward. Again, if Zach plays, I want to see what happens, but if Flacco plays out there, I want to see, hey, can he hold the fort? Can we continue to move forward with him? Is he going to, cost us and kind of throw us off a cliff offensively, and how prepared we're going to look? So we're going to go to the lines now, because I can go on forever. Had a phenomenal conversation with Antoine Staley. That was great. And I just wanted to give you guys takes really quickly. We're going to get to it. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I see all of you, BK, Christopher Cancel, NY Jets FL, Dark, everybody in there. We'll come to you folks in a second. Mr. McMoney as well, Jets Unleashed. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I call y'all the savages because y'all are savage. I'm talking savage. All right, we'll get to everybody in just a second. Keep on, throwing those those questions in the chat. So now we're going to get to our callers. First call I'm going to my guy, A. I'm going to A. Steve, Jay, North Carolina. Hold on a second. We're going to my guy A first. A, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, man, it is time. It's time, okay? Jets got this game coming up against the Ravens, man. Give me your thoughts about the Zach Wilson situation. Do you think he ends up playing?
I don't think so. I wouldn't risk him so early. Why take him out the box now? We only got one game. We got a whole season to worry about. I say let him heal. Let him have a couple of good practice under his belt. Let Joe Flacco get his revenge game, and let's see how this thing takes us.
Okay. So now you're saying, hey, you want to sit Zach Wilson, no issues. Going forward with Joe Flacco, what are your expectations out of him week 1, man?
Joe Flacco, well, you know what? It's the same thing I want from both quarterbacks. All quarterbacks. I feel like we have enough talent. So just do these 3 things. Don't turn the ball over. Don't play hero ball, and just take what the defense gives you. And we have enough talent to matriculate down the field. So that's if you do those 3 things, I think all our quarterbacks need to do is just don't lose us the games. That's how I feel with the talent that we have now.
Yeah, we do. We have quite a bit of talent now. Again, the Ravens are a very physical team, especially defensively, man. Do you think Mike LaFleur will be able to make the adjustments if the Ravens, happen to make the defensive adjustments to us as well and are kind of figuring things out early? Do you expect LaFleur to be able to change things up?
I don't know, man. We got to see what happens. And I really wasn't too impressed with our starting unit with the Giants. I feel like our run game never gelled, and I know that's their first time working together. But I think LaFleur is saying he's known for being a run first offense, and if that run game not working, your play actions don't work off of that. Your bootlegs don't work off of that. So they got to find a way to get the run game going, and that's kind of a tough defensive front, man. They got Calais Campbell, they got Houston, they got some dogs over there,
Yeah.
This is where you miss a guy like Mekhi Becton because he consistently, put people on it behind, But if they can get these double teams, I think our zone scheme relies too much on one-on-one blocking. I don't believe in fighting fair. I believe 2-on-1. Then you climb with the linebacker, jump people, you know what I'm saying? Don't go 1-on-1. Go 2-on-1 and get up to the linebackers to get that movement. If we can do that, make that adjustment, then, yeah, we can get everything else going, get our play action going, we get, linebackers sniffing in the box, and then, do a couple of drags and dagger concepts, across the middle. That's what we've been successful at. A lot of our completions came actually over the middle of a play action.
Oh.
So that's what I see, what we have to, what Joe Flacco can do. He's still got a rocket of an arm, and eventually you hit those dinks and dunks, and then you'll get some of those explosives after that. So I hope LaFleur can put it better, but I think it all relies on the run game.
Yeah. So what do you expect from Conklin and Uzama in this game? Do you expect them to have a big impact now that our tight end position has been definitely upgraded? We talked about that all season. Do you expect those guys to have a big impact in this football game against the Ravens?
I like Conklin, man. He's a very explosive athlete. I like to see, what he does. I haven't seen too much from CJ Moza. They kind of been held on back for the preseason. So, we'll see. Supposedly he's a dynamite blocker. So maybe he'll seal the edge for us on the outside runs and, spring Brees Hall and Michael Carter and open up everything else. So I expect, Conklin to be a good mismatch, like how Mark Andrews is to them in the passing game. And hopefully CJ Uzama is that, physical presence to open up our run game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I see the tight ends do it. So if we get that working, then we got a shot. We got a shot.
Yeah. So when you look at the defensive side, man, how concerned are you about Lamar Jackson's mobility? Do you think the Jets will be able to deal with what he's going to bring with his feet, man? Because he's going to bring it. He is.
He is. No, I know he is, bro. That's the stuff that keeps me up at night. I don't envy Ulbrich. I don't envy Salah right now. Because, if Salah had any hair, I'm sure he'd be losing it. Because that guy is, I don't know, man. He's a freak of nature.
Dynamic,
and you want to spy him, but who you spying with? Who you spying with?
Yeah.
Like, in a perfect world, I'd love to see Quincy Williams just get a nice pop on him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like just cool his jets. But you made a very good point. our all gas no break mentality has our defensive rushers usually running past
Yes.
quarterback in our
Yes.
pass rush.
Yes.
And you do it on him, it's night nurse. It's night nurse.
Yeah.
So I mean, I believe you got to do that mush rush. You know what I'm saying? It's like power, close the gap, and make him throw from the pocket. And they can beat you from there. And then you can add on a spy. And then it like I would probably have Quincy Williams or maybe Whitehead spy. And if they get a shot to kind of shoot that gap while they kind of collapse the pocket, go ahead. Or layer the rush where you have, one guy going up the field, one guy coming underneath. So if he goes up the field, you get him. If he goes underneath, the steps in the pocket is run, you get him. And have Quincy Williams right there in the middle. If you try to score out that A and B gap, you got him. And, a little dose of safety blitzes every now and again just to make a roll to the left. And then you spy him and have Quincy Williams spy him as he tries to score out on his left-hand side and maybe knock the what out of him. But, I mean, he's so good at not getting hit, too, man. That's another thing. Like, you see a lot of these running quarterbacks. When I saw him come out of college, I said, oh, this guy's not going to last. Someone's going to blast him in his mouth like RG3 did. Holy I did to RG3, and he'll be done. But he's smart. He gets out of bounds. He slides. He does things that Zach Wilson don't do, unfortunately. and he survives it. But I'm hoping we get a real good shot. I remember 2019, Neville Hubert knocked the you-know-what out of him. And I was like, all right, we got him. Mm-hmm. And he kept on trucking. He's not no small guy either. He comes with the juice and he got some size.
Yeah. And
then if you send everyone at him, he'll pop over to Mark Andrews. He's another guy you gotta deal with, man. That you can't just release him off the line. Our DNs don't like to how should I say chip the tight end. Mm-hmm. They'll just go after the pass rusher and leave Mark Andrews open. You can't do that. You got to be very disciplined with this team. This is a very good team.
Yeah.
You can't let Mark Andrews out. I would put JFM over him on rundowns, abuse him, beat him up, and then on third and long, you got to chip him out and then get your pass rush on. You might not get to Lamar Jackson, but you slow him up and then you can make him have to sit in that pocket a little bit longer before he takes off and use that invisible juice to up and go.
Yeah. I mean, you're bringing it. Hey, you're talking facts now. Before I let you go, give me your final score prediction, man. How do you think this game ends up week 1 for the New York Jets? Do they win? Do they lose?
Man. Yeah, I mean, I love my Jets, man, but I'm not a homer, man. I'm a football purist. And, I mean, I just feel like week 1, maybe our O-line is just working together for the first time. I don't know if we're going to be able to put up points like that. If we play undisciplined like the all gas, no break mentality, which is it sounds great, but we play undisciplined sometimes. It could be a hurting. So, I mean, I'm just going based off of what I've been seeing. I would say maybe 28-13 Ravens. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I know. I got to call it like I see it, man. I hope that's not it. I know they're up by 7 on the bet line. Got them up by 7 points. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I hope it's a competitive game. I hope it's a fun game. But I just see too much rigidity from Salah's scheme, which is we're going to fly up the field. I don't care what happens. We're going to play this spot drop zone. Just don't give up big plays, and then you can't cover screens. We have problems with tight ends. So if we come out like that, it could be a long day for us. Mm-hmm. But if we do some of the things, I like some of the things they did during the Giants, though. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Where they're playing more man-match principles, not just spot dropping and letting screens go off. You know what I'm saying? Not letting tight ends just kill us. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's a possibility where we can hang with these guys, but I'm not so sure if we're ready yet. We got a lot of potential on our team, a lot of young guys, but potential is just a lot of talent that hasn't done nothing yet. Yeah. So I got to call it like it is. They got people who's done stuff. Lamar Jackson is an MVP dude. Mark Andrews is an all-pro tight end. You got to respect that. So I can't just say we got them licked with all these young bucks who haven't been tested yet. So that's the way I see it, bro. I'm sorry to say.
No, listen.
I think me too, though. We got something.
It's your take. Listen, hey, I want to thank you for calling in, man. You have yourself a good night.
Appreciate you, big bro.
All right. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is number. Call in. If you're watching the stream, no matter where you're watching me from, please give the stream a thumbs up. Okay, subscribe if you have not subscribed. All right, hit that notification bell. Share the stream with your friends and your family across your social media. Okay, if you want to give to the stream, the Super Chat is there. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. You want to go through Super Chat, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything that you can give is greatly appreciated to the stream. Okay, we're going to continue on. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, BK. BK, we're coming directly to you. North Carolina, Steve. Jason will come to you next. This is my dude, BK, man. BK, salutes to you, my friend. All right, I want to thank you for calling
What's
in.
up?
Listen, we are
What's
talking.
up, man?
What's going on, man? First off, hold on. For those of y'all that don't know, BK, oh, he's a savage. Savage! He be trying to sneak around, but, we see him.
Right.
We see you. We see you. You can't get low around us. So
Yes, sir.
you look at this situation now. I'm looking at the Jets right now, man. And Zach Wilson at this point, they've held a workout. They're going to wait until Wednesday to figure out, to announce if he's going to play. Give me your thoughts on that, man. Do you want to see Zach out there? Are you a guy that's really wanting to hold on just maybe a week or 2 weeks? What are your thoughts? Do you think he ends up playing in this week 1 game?
Yeah, it's a little difficult, but I don't think he's going to play, you know what I'm saying, based upon the fact that he hasn't been practicing that much, and Flacco been taking all the first-team reps. So the chemistry, he practiced, over the summer and everything with the team, but as of late and as the past 2.5 or 3 weeks, Flacco's been a guy who's been practicing with the team. So that chemistry is in place right now. So get Zach heal up and let Flacco get to go on September 11th.
Okay. So if we're going forward with Flacco, what are you expecting out of him in this week 1 game, man? What are you expecting out of him first week of the season?
I'm expecting just what Gary Wilson was saying. He throws the ball. He has command of the offense. They respect him as a leader. I'm expecting all of that. So, and he can make all the throws on the field. So the main thing right now is that how LaFleur make a plan for them to come out and get to move fast. Actually, they got to move fast on offense when they first start on offense Sunday.
Okay. So when we're talking about starting fast, I hear you. That's what I want as well. I want to get some points early. How pivotal is it for us to get the running game going? Like, is it a big deal for Carter and Hall to really be running the rock hard in this football game? And if so, do you expect the Jets to have over 100-yard rushing in this game?
Let me see here. So, I do expect that.
Okay.
I'm concerned a little bit about the center. I'm concerned a little bit about the center position. I don't think Conor McGovern, he doesn't get a good push after snapping the ball. He doesn't, and that's a problem. So he, to me, is the biggest problem on offensive line, that center. So we'll see, and they got veterans on their side on the side of the defense. They could expose that. So we'll see how they play, But they got enough fast running backs to hit the outside, hit the B gap, and get upfield. So I expect the running game to be moving well on Sunday.
Okay. So when you talk about you're expecting over 100 yards rushing from the Jets, I want to see that as well. Again, it's a very physical football team. Calais Campbell, they got guys up front that can get after it. Now, when you look at our wide receiver position, who do you expect to really have a big game, or do you expect a big game from any of our wide receivers? Do you expect Corey Davis to really go out there and handle business?
You know what? I think they will. They got a lot of depth, and Flacco should be able to get the ball. It really comes down to where they start their offensive drive at. So if they start at the 30, the 35, they're going to be productive to me. I don't see no reason why they shouldn't, unless, again, they don't call the right plays or they don't make adjustments at halftime. But for the most part, they're going to be able to move the football. They are. Their offensive line is good enough to play against their D-line, but their D-line is kind of old. Those guys, years are behind them, some of the D-line guys. So I expect them to kind of dominate the line of scrimmage with the guards and the tackles. Now, the center, that's going to be an issue. I can see that right away. But before the receivers getting open, the running back's going to be able to catch the ball in the backfield because they don't play well against the running back in terms of catch the ball in the backfield. And at the receiver position, I'm looking at pretty much Elijah Moore to get his.
Okay.
So that'll be the probably the recipe for moving the ball down the field and getting a score. Getting scores.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good take. I'm looking to see what Elijah Moore is going to be able to do in this football game as well. Interested to see how Garrett Wilson is going to look too. This is a kid we've been talking about all season, some of the amazing things that we've seen from him. Now, going to the defensive side of the ball, how concerned are you about Lamar Jackson's mobility, man?
So the only concern I have is if they play, as the other caller said, if they play defense where they rush up the field too fast, they'll take containment. But these guys, listen, they know, looking at Lamar Jackson, you can't just do that. That's not how you win, right? By giving them opportunities to get 20, 30 yards a pop, just run the football on its own. They're going to play containment football, and I think they'll take theirs. If they do rush them, it will be up the middle with the linebackers, which I think they'll have success. With the defense they got in the rotation, they should be able to have success against their offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. Especially with the corners that we have now, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So how many sacks do you expect the New York Jets to have in this game?
The sacks may come late because, it's going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You may see him throw the ball away. You may see him, pick up 2 or 3 yards running. But I would, or maybe 10 yards running the ball. I don't see him picking up 20, 30 yards running Lamar Jackson because of the fact that I believe they'll play disciplined football. They got the veterans that understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So the sacks, I would say, would be like maybe 3. Maybe 3 sacks.
Okay. 3 sacks. All right. Well, we'll see what happens when we're matching up. Now, my final question before I let you go, man, is what is your final score prediction for this game, man? What is your final score prediction for the New York Jets versus the Ravens?
They should get the win. I believe they will get the win. People don't see that, but I'm looking at this roster and their roster, and I'm here. I see things online with the prediction going to be for the playoffs. I don't see their receiving core as that strong. And looking at what we have on our corners, we should be able to hold them up. They should not be catching over 100 yards at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, they shouldn't be from what we have on our corners. So with that alone, the main thing I worry about is the tight end. So I think that we can get the win. I don't want to give a number out there.
I need a number,
I really
BK.
don't want to, but I would say
I need a number. Come on now.
I need a number. So, what I'm gonna throw out there, I'm gonna say we get the win by like 4 points, 3 to 4 points.
Okay. So what are we talking? 23-20, 24-20? What are we talking?
Yeah, somewhere in that range, or maybe a little bit less. You never know because
give me something, BK. Come on, give me a definite score.
So anywhere between 18 to 25 points between both. That's what I'm gonna say. So so it's like 18, 25, some number like that. Number like that.
All right. Well,
I don't think it's gonna be a consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. We'll take it, I guess. But can we talk about on the low how BK was trying to evade actually giving us a score prediction? Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta drive that car better, man. You gotta drive that car better. Come on, BK.
You know why it's difficult?
Come on.
But hey, you know why it's difficult? Because you haven't seen it yet. You have to actually see how they move the ball to dictate the number. So that's why I'll say I got to win it, but I'll throw this out there. I'll say 20-24. There you go.
Now he gonna try to. Now he gonna try to give us one before he get out of here.
Well, you need to know that.
Oh man, you can't shift your gears. Listen, salutes BK. I want to thank you for calling in. BK did take the Jets to win. He kind of jacked up in the score prediction, but salutes to you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, BK trying to slide up out of here without giving us a score prediction. Come on, man. Come on, give us a score prediction. Jeez Louise, you know what I'm saying? Come on, BK. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Come on, man. Give us a score prediction. Salutes to everybody. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy in North Carolina. Listen, this is a guy that knows his Jets through and through. Salutes to you, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, we're talking Jets. We're talking Jets right now, my friend. Give me your thoughts about the situation with Zach Wilson. Do you think he actually ends up playing week 1?
Hey, this is Angelo from Memphis.
Oh, this is my bad, producer. Salutes to you, Angelo. Listen, Angelo, give me your thoughts, man.
Yeah, I heard the unmuted. I'm like, oh.
Oh, do you think Zach will end up playing week 1?
You know what? No, I don't know why they would come out publicly and say that. I've heard a lot of talk about that. Maybe they're just trying to mess with the Ravens here, but I think Joe Flacco's going to start all the way. I don't think you risk, drafting Zach number 2 overall. That's you're not going to risk him to throw him out there in the first game when he's just recovered from an injury. It's just not worth it. And if Flacco's got the experience with the Ravens, he knows John Harbaugh. Maybe that goes to a negative for Flacco, but also a positive. So we'll kind of see. I like to roll with Flacco this game. I think it's smart.
Now, when you're talking about rolling with Joe Flacco, what are your expectations for him? What do you think his stat line is going to look like for the game, man?
Well, depending on his, what he can pick up from the Ravens, I see a manageable game. I don't see him just leading the team. I see every receiver getting a couple receptions. I don't see the scoreboard lighting up. I like to rely on our defense in these kind of matchups. But, man, after seeing what the defense looked like in the preseason, I don't know. I was thinking our defense these past couple of years was going to be really good, and they just haven't. So I'm looking at Flacco maybe 17 completions, 17 out of 30 maybe for, let's say, 220 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns and interception, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see what happens going forward with him. Now, you talked about the defense. How concerned are you about Mark Andrews, man? This is a guy that can really handle business at tight end. The New York Jets have had a history of having issues covering tight ends. I mean, what are your thoughts about him going into this game? How do you think we'll be able to handle and kind of deal with him?
Well, I don't think so much of the player, but I think the fact that Lamar is going to create a lot of extended plays, and that's going to be the problem. I think, the last call was talking about our cornerbacks, but I mean, when you got an extended play going on, and that's what Lamar does so well, it's so hard as a defense to keep up with that because the guys are now unscripted doing whatever they think they need to be doing. And as far as Mark Andrews, I feel like Quincy Williams, Quan Alexander, C.J. Mosley, those guys are the ones that have to step up. And I feel pretty good about our linebacker group. But Quan Alexander actually impressed me in the preseason. And but again, when you got an extended play, it really you catch one of those linebackers off foot, boom, Mark Andrews turns the other way, and then I feel like that's going to happen a lot. And I think the Ravens are going to be moving the ball down the field pretty comfortably. So it's just you look at their offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. The guy's got 24 years experience. He's been the offensive coordinator for the Ravens for the past 7 years. I mean, again, you're looking at players. You're talking about players, but for me, I'm looking at coaches. It's Robert Saleh versus John Harbaugh. I mean, who's got the experience? Greg Roman versus LaFleur. It's just that we are so inexperienced at coaching, and that's where we need to step up. And I feel like the coaches need to have a game plan, make adjustments. If Lamar's going to have extended plays, we need to have an answer for that. And it's all relying on the coaches because you can pick out certain players, but really, it's the scheme and the play calling that is going to get us the win if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and also again, when you look at this tight end position, there's other guys too outside of just Andrews. Nick Boyle is a guy that can come in and handle business. We've seen when guys go down that the Ravens tight end position is pretty strong. There are guys that can keep moving as well. Salutes to how about them Jets. Also talked about Isaiah Likely, a young guy that can come in too. So I think that we're going to be tested quite a bit in this upcoming game, especially with them throwing tight ends at us. So we're going to see, again, like you talked about, how the linebacker position is going to be able to react to that situation too, and how our corners and safeties, we'll see how they use that situation. Because in the past, remember, we were running those, 3 safety kind of looks from time to time, different defenses and stuff like that. So I want to see if maybe they do something to figure out how to get a bunch of corners on the field to kind of help with these tight ends, because we've seen our linebacker core kind of get roasted in the past, having to deal with tight ends and screens. And that's going to bring me to my next question with you. Are you concerned? How concerned are you with Lamar Jackson's mobility? And do you think that the New York Jets front will be able to get after him, man? Do you think that this pass rush will be able to maul him?
Yeah, and I think, piggyback off my last answer, it's the extended plays and it's Lamar's ability to create something out of a broken play. I'm probably going to see a lot of Lamar's almost getting sacked. The play call is there on the defense. We get to him. He rolls free. Boom, he runs for 30 yards. It's so easy for a player like that. And that's why really they need to pay Lamar. That guy needs to get paid right now. I think I understand they have some concerns, but with a player like that, he is going to be very hard to get to. And hopefully we can put some pressure on him. Again, Quentin Williams, it starts with him. He's the guy up front with high draft capital. He's the guy. He's got to be our Aaron Donald. He's got to be the guy in the middle. If you're going to get to Lamar Jackson, you got to get to him in the middle. Because if you get him on the outside, he can easily get away from that. But if you get him in the middle, it's a little different. You got to close the pocket. Hopefully we see a couple sacks. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the cornerback blitzes, the disguise blitzes. I mean, I feel like if you're going to do that, you better get to him. Because if you don't, you are in trouble, So, and as far as I think the last caller said about the spy, yeah, Quincy Williams, dude, he has impressed me. I like Quincy. I think he's good. He's fast. He hits hard. You get a spy on him and make sure that he can't get out. I mean, all the focus has got to be on Lamar. Mark Andrews doesn't have a big game if Lamar's under pressure. You talk about the other receivers. You talk about the running backs. And if you can stop the run and you put the pressure on Lamar, none of those players matter. So I think you're right. The defensive line is such a crucial part of a team.
Yep.
And we got the pieces up there. So hopefully we get a couple sacks. But, again, we got to be careful with the broken plays and the extended plays, and we have to have an answer for that. Yeah. So it's hard to, but we got to somehow prepare for that.
What are your expectations for Carl Lawson in this game?
There you go, man. He's the forgotten one, right? Because he didn't play last year. So, we talk about Quentin Williams, but really, man, Carl Lawson, I think it takes a combo. I think it's combo with Carl Lawson and Quentin Williams. If they can both somehow, okay, Carl's going to get to him, but Quentin's right there in the middle to stop him from moving. But again, if Carl Lawson is continually getting in the backfield and Lamar Jackson is continually creating broken plays, that could be a problem. So if we do get to him, we got to get him. Because, again, like I've seen so many times, almost a sack, 30-yard play. Almost a sack, touchdown. Almost a sack. It's just so if we do get to him, we got to have an option or a plan B of like, okay, Carl's gonna get to him. What if he doesn't? What if he misses? There's going to be a gap on that side where Lamar's going to get over there. So again, a lot of pressure could create problems as far as with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. But again, we got to put the pressure on him, and that's it. So sometimes broken plays are good because that leads to interceptions, that leads to fumbles, that leads to whatever, negative plays. But I didn't really like how our defense looked against Philadelphia, man. I mean, a lot of talk about it, but again, it doesn't matter right now. That let's get that out of the system, and let's go forward. So Carl Lawson, let's get a sack under his belt. Let's break that, and let's get Quentin Williams in there. So our defense has to win this game, and I think they can do it.
Yeah, I think they can as well. So before I let you go, Angelo, give me your final score prediction for this upcoming game against the Ravens, man. Who do you think wins? Who do you think loses?
It's always difficult doing this. I understand the last caller, but you got to throw a number on me. Come on, let's do this.
I'm telling you.
Let's go. We got a really good field goal kicker now. Mm-hmm. So I think there's going to be a lot of field goals. Let's go. 21-17 Jets, man. Let's go on top here.
Okay. I respect that, Angelo. You threw a number out there and set it on fire.
Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
Oh, yes. I like that, Angelo. You put your name on the line right there and said, hey, I'm taking this and I'm taking the Jets. Thank you, Angelo, for giving us a number and a solid score prediction. Listen, Angelo, I got to slide off. I got callers. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
All right, Jay. Have a good night, sir. Thank you.
All right. Listen, Angelo calling in. We'll keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy, Jason. Jason, we're coming directly to you. Salutes to you, Jason. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, we are talking Jets. We're talking Ravens. Listen, Jason, I'm going to start on the defensive side of the football with you. How concerned are you about Lamar Jackson and his mobility, man? Are you worried that he's just going to start taking off and making plays with his feet?
Oh yeah, Lamar. That's his no threat. Is able to run it with the ball. So we have to be able to make sure that even if he just thinks about winning, we're way on it. We have to cover the gaps and make sure there's no running room for him, and just stop him and just get to him and hit him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, when you look at the situation, like you said as well, he's a guy that makes plays with his feet, can take off, can really get rolling. What do you think our pass rush is going to be able to do? Like, how many sacks do you think the New York Jets front is going to be able to get?
To be honest, I think we can get 4 to 6 sacks.
Wow!
If we're able to hold Lamar for just a little bit, a split second, hold him there can make a huge difference for our defensive line. So I think our defensive line is strong enough to get that much sacks.
Okay. So what are you expecting out of Carl Lawson in this game, man?
Well, Carl Lawson, man, he's a beast, man. I can't wait to see him in the first game of the regular season. You know, I'm going to be optimistic and say he's going to get about 2 to 3 sacks.
Okay, 2 to 3 sacks in the first game. All right. Look, I respect that. I absolutely respect that. And that would be a great opening there for Carl Lawson. Now, when you look at the other matchups that we have there, their tight end position can get after it. Boyle, of course, you got Andrews, got the young kid Likely. What are your thoughts about our matchups there? How do you think the New York Jets will be able to handle the tight end position for them?
Well, to be honest, I think besides Lamar Jackson, I think the tight ends are going to be the only other options we're going to have to worry about besides running back. But to be honest, I would be willing to have two defenders just guard if they only have one tight end, have like 2 defenders guard that one tight end just to make sure they can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we've got to figure out some type of way, man. I don't know if you want to put some corners over there or do something. Now, we again continuing on with this defense. How are you ready to see Sauce get tested in this game? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to go after him. How do you think he's going to be able to react to some of the things that's thrown at him from the Ravens?
Well, you know what? I'm not worried for the kid, man. No one has targeted. I don't even think they're not even going to be able to want to target him. Like with Bateman versus Sauce, that's the best receiver. That's a nightmare for them. I'm expecting them not to even try to even go for Sauce this whole game. You know, my expectation is that he's going to be targeted 0 times this game.
Yeah, I could see that, man. So when you look at, their running game as well, are you concerned that they'll rack up yards on the ground? Because we saw last season, New York Jets had issues stopping the run. Do you think that this is the year where we kind of will be able to shut that down? Because they have a strong running game there.
Yeah, though that was our weakness last year, and hopefully, if we're gonna have a good run, we have to show we're able to stop the run. So this is gonna be an interesting matchup for the Jets. It could get ugly quickly if we can't stop the run.
Yeah. So going over to the offensive side of the ball with you, if Flacco ends up starting, what are your expectations for him?
But with Flacco, from what I've seen from practice, we know what we get for him. He will have one bad play that probably will show an INT in there, but he can handle that. He can manage it. He's a good as a backup perspective. He's good. It just sucks that he might have an INT in the game.
Okay. And my final question for you, as far as going on with this team, man, is do you expect a New York Jets wide receiver to have 100 yards in this game? And if so, who do you think it'll be?
Ooh, that's going to you know what? It's all about matchups. Can our matchups be better? Can our matchups be able to beat their matchups? It's going to be a tight game, and if I had to guess which wide receiver would be able to do 100, I think Moore would be the one to be able to be the wide receiver to do that.
Okay. Elijah Moore. A lot of people picking him, man. A lot of people picking him to be the guy that could break 100 yards in this football game. Now, give me your final score prediction, my friend.
Oh, my goodness. It's hard for me because I don't know which way this is going to go.
Come
but
on
like
now.
I said, it could go either very bad so quick or it could be a good game. Prediction. I think I got a prediction. I would say it would be 13-16 Jets.
Okay, 13-16 Jets. All right. Look, I respect that take. You gave us a number, man. I like that. Okay, 13-16. I'll take it. I'll take it all day. Listen, Jason, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
You too, my man.
All right,
Everyone for night.
Listen, people calling in, they're giving their takes. Again, we'll keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Okay, we're taking all callers. Next, we're going to continue to get to these lines. You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue to go on. Again, please give the stream a thumbs up no matter where you're watching me from. Also, subscribe if you have not subscribed. Hit that notification bell so that when I post content, you folks will be in the know, all right? Also, if you want to give to the stream, the super chat is there. If you don't want to give to the super chat, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen as well. Anything you give to this platform is greatly appreciated, all right? It is. It's greatly appreciated. So we'll keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Steve. Steve, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, Steve, we got a lot to talk about, all right? You got a lot of things moving and shaking with the New York Jets. A lot of things happening. Zach Wilson looking like he's done a workout, maybe could end up playing. Do you think, again, the announcement's going to come Wednesday as well, do you think Zach Wilson will be our starter week 1?
Hey, Joe. Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on your show, man. It's always great to talk to you, man. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So here is my thing about this whole thing with Zach Wilson. Listen, I am happy that now that he's feeling a lot better and he should be medically cleared to go. However, though, Joe, I think this would be okay if he just sits out this week. Just let him heal up a little bit more so he can get ready for the following week. I would think – I mean, here's the thing. If Zach Wilson is ready to go, then let's do it. But you know what, though, Joe? I would just let him sit another week and let Flacco play this Sunday.
Okay. So you want to go and keep everything safe, which is understandable, right? There's a lot of people that want to go with Flacco as well. All right. If Flacco does start, how many yards and touchdowns do you think he gets in this football game?
You know. Listen, I think if he's going to win us this game, he's got to get at least over 200 yards and at least 2 to 3 touchdowns passing.
Ooh, okay. So when you're talking about throwing for all those yards, who do you think will be our leading receiver in this game? Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios? Who do you think it is?
I think it's going to be Moore. I just have a feeling that I think Elijah Moore is going to have a big game. But now, Joe, we got to talk about our opponent this Sunday. It's opening day at MetLife Stadium, Sunday, 1 o'clock. We're home against the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I actually really, really want to give you my thoughts on Lamar Jackson, and I want you to give me your thoughts about Lamar Jackson. Listen, here is my thing about Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson, Joe, is a phenomenal athlete. I think the way how he runs the ball really well, I'm very, very impressed with his athleticism. But I'm going to tell you one big concern about Lamar Jackson, and this might shock you. That guy at times cannot throw a football. I've watched him in games before, Joe, and when he throws a football, Joe, there are at times where he is inaccurate with his passes. Listen, I understand a couple of years ago he was the MVP a couple of years ago, but the only reasons why he was the MVP that year was because of his athleticism. Listen, that's just my
I don't
opinion
agree.
about Lamar Jackson.
I don't
mean,
agree
listen,
there. I don't agree, Steve. I really don't. I'm not going to sit here and say that like Lamar Jackson is Peyton Manning or something like that, right? He's still a guy that's growing. But to think that Lamar Jackson is simply just an athlete and he can run and that's it will get you cooked. It will absolutely get you cooked, I'm telling you. Because, again, when you look at the Ravens as well, the Ravens, one of their biggest issues is their lack of actual weapons, right? They tried to bring in guys like Hollywood Brown and all those guys. He doesn't have a lot of receiving threats as far as like at wide receiver. But that tight end position,
well,
Mark
yeah,
Andrews,
no.
hold on a second,
Receiving
Steve.
threat-
Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle, those guys like that, let me tell you something. Those guys can move and make plays. And not only can they move and make plays, you also have to look at their running game, too. That really helps them. Their backs come out the backfield. They can catch the football, whether it be Dobbins, whether it be I think that Mike Davis is another guy that they have, too. I believe they have other guys as well, like Justin Hill. I think they might have Drake, too, now still. But those guys can come out the backfield and catch the football. So I think just thinking that Lamar Jackson is some freak athlete that just runs around and can't throw the ball will get you destroyed. He absolutely can throw the ball, and he can make things happen from the pocket. So I think the New York Jets are going to have issues there. And I think one of the biggest issues is making sure that they do not overrun the play. Because if you overrun the play and he's able to just get outside and keep a play alive, he can go out there and play background football and chuck a football downfield, and it will easily end up, costing you 6 right there. It will easily end up costing you a TD. Lamar Jackson, I'm telling you, he is deadly. Again, he's deadly with his feet, but he's a guy that can throw the football in this league as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, that's just how I feel about Lamar Jackson. I think that's one of the key things we got to do against Baltimore this Sunday. We have to put the pressure on Lamar Jackson. We have to put pressure on him. And I think that we finally have, like, the pass rush that we need. And, I mean, because we haven't seen that pass rush for a very, very long time. But I have a feeling now that we finally do have it. But the thing is, Joe, he doesn't have a good receiving core. I do agree with you on that. My biggest concern is when he does throw the football, his biggest target is Mark Andrews. Mm-hmm. And I think Mark Andrews, without a doubt, I think is Lamar Jackson's best offensive playmaker on that team. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, I think Mark Andrews is phenomenal. I think he's one of the best tight. I mean, I'm not going to say he is the best tight end in the game, but he is one of the best. And listen, the Ravens' biggest thing on offense is their running game and their tight end. That's their biggest thing. And the other thing going into the game is, in order for us to win, whoever is quarterbacking on Sunday, whether it's Wilson or whether it's Flacco, they got to play a clean game. Don't be like the hero ball. I mean, listen, it is the first game of the season. I'm excited. I'm also nervous as well. But we're going to see what happens this Sunday, Joe.
Yeah, we are. Now, you talked a little bit, just about things that we were going. You kind of wrapped it up about our defense there and how we handle business. But what are your expectations from Carl Lawson? Because this Ravens offensive line can be, some people consider them a little suspect. You know what I'm saying? They got Linderbaum up front. They got Morgan Moses there at right tackle. Stanley, I believe he's questionable at this point. I think he's dealing with like an ankle injury right now. So what are your thoughts about that, man?
Yeah, I mean, Stanley's not going to be 100% because obviously apparently they just announced that he just came off the PUP list. Mm-hmm. I mean, recently, I think starting off the season, the Ravens are not going to have one of their best defensive players. What's his name? Titus Bowser. Mm-hmm. I think he's on the PUP list right now, so he might be missing the first 4 games of the season because he's there. But the thing is, though, Joe, if the Ravens' offensive line has issues, I mean, listen, Tyler Linderbaum was a player that I at first wanted back in the draft back in April. I mean, he ended up going to Baltimore. I mean, that's going to be his start. Listen, maybe our Jets starting defense could give Linderbaum a tough time because, it's a rookie making his NFL debut at the center position, And something, listen, it is the first game of the season. We're going to see what happens this Sunday. It's exciting, though, for Jets football to be back, so can't wait.
Yeah. So, Steve, give me your final score prediction for this game, man.
You know, I know that a lot of NFL analysts are picking Baltimore to win this game because, listen, obviously Baltimore technically is supposed to be the better team than us. But I'm going to say something right now, Joe. I think this Sunday we make a statement. I think we're going to make a statement this Sunday against Baltimore. And since we are at home, I'm going to give the Jets a 24-20 victory.
Okay. All right, 2024. That's what Steve is saying. Listen, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in, man. Thank you for your score prediction. You have a good one.
All right, good, man. Go Jets, man. All right, bye-bye.
Listen, Steve calling in with some takes. He gave us a score prediction. All right? Listen, this has been phenomenal, man. I'm going to give you guys my take on this game. When I look at this game, I think there's going to be some interesting matchups here. Very interesting. And I'm going to start along the defensive side. I'm looking, and we all talked about this constantly, right? We talked about our pass rush. We talked about all this stuff during the offseason, and we played the Giants. We were like, okay, our pass rush is real. These guys were getting after it. They were handling business. I want to see if we can do some of the same things against these Ravens. I want to see, again, the Ravens they're a very physical football team. They play grown men football up there in the AFC North, okay? I want to see if we're going to be able to go up there and really give it to the Ravens like we should. We're playing at home, right? It's going to be time for us. The season opener, everybody's going to be fired up. Can we go up and handle business at home? Can we do that? All right? Can we show people, listen, this is our house. We're going to make sure that when you come here, you're going to have big problems. I want to see. All right? Now, I'm expecting Carl Lawson to have a day, man. I really think that this guy, again, he's been fired up, amped up, couldn't wait to get on the field again with Stanley dealing with that ankle injury as well. We'll see how he's looking. But I'm telling you, I think Carl Lawson is a guy that's going to eat. I think Quinnen Williams is also a guy that we've talked about in the past, too. Quinnen Williams is a guy that I think is going to come out and show us something as well. He knows, hey, this is going to be the put up or shut up year for him. So I'm expecting a lot of havoc out of him. Again, Jermaine Johnson, other guys that we have as well along our defensive line. I'm thinking, man, that we're going to be able to get some pressure on Lamar Jackson. I really, really do. The only thing, that I'm concerned about is us just overrunning guys and leaving lanes open. We saw that, honestly, against the Giants. There was times where Tyrod Taylor, was able to kind of scoot out for a couple yards because guys were running past him. We hit him a bunch of times, but there was some plays where, he was able to move out and kind of take off. So I just want to make sure that we don't do that because with a guy like Lamar Jackson, I'm telling you, you'll have a long day if you do something like that against him. And again, I think a lot of people are looking at him and just thinking, hey, he's a runner. He's an athlete. That's kind of all that he brings to the table. And I'm telling you that is not so. He's a guy that can throw the football as well. There's a reason why a lot of people regard him the way that they do in this league. And I'm looking at that situation, and I'm saying that this is definitely going to be a test for our secondary, too. Now, again, the Ravens' weapons at wide receiver aren't like something that's going to knock you off, your back porch. Bateman, Duvernay, those guys, I think they have Wallace. Those guys are not going to kill you. But when you look at that tight end position with Andrews and Boyle and Likely and Oliver, these are guys that can come out in these big sets and create some matchup issues. And I'm looking to see, we talk about the players and we talk about all that. I'm looking to see how the coaching is going to handle it. Is Sulla going to make sure that these guys, Sulla and Ulbrich, are they going to make sure that these guys are fully prepared and ready? Are they going to make the adjustments when the Ravens come out and try to throw some of these sets that they're going to throw at us? And I also think one of the big things as well, we talk about Lamar Jackson and him running with his feet. We talk about the receiving stuff, but the running game, the Ravens' calling card is they run the football hard and heavy. Now, again, Dobbins at this point is supposed to be playing. That's what they're saying now. So if he does step out there and he's out there, listen, we got to make sure we corral to this guy because he can move. He really can. He can also come out the backfield and catch the ball, so we got to look out for that. You got Mike Davis as well out there. So they're a team that can run the football really well, and the New York Jets struggled last season against the run. Can we clean that up going forward? Is this the game where we set the statement where, hey, you're not just going to come against the New York Jets and take off running against us. You're not going to beat us up front. You're not going to break our wheels. No, we're going to submit you. We're going to make sure that you are the are the people that are getting burned on the end. So I want to see how the New York Jets face up against the run. Now, offensively, it's going to be extremely interesting as well. I'm kind of, again, leaning that Zach Wilson is not going to play. So if he doesn't play, and that's kind of what I'm expecting right now, I want to see how Joe Flacco handles this situation. Again, the Ravens can also bring pressure defensively. Bowser is going to be out in this game, but they got Calais Campbell. They got Justin Houston. They got Pierce. They have guys that can handle business. So we still have to be able to hold up. I want to see this offensive line is going to look like, especially, again, with Dwayne Brown being out there. A lot of people just saying, hey, he's a veteran. Everything should go well. Listen, we've got to see that out there in live action. And, again, this offensive line, especially with Mekhi Becton being gone, as a whole, hasn't had much time to gel. Now they're throwing out there, like, week one, can they gel quickly and ensure that, things don't go off the rails, especially if Joe Flacco's back there, because he's a statue. He's not a guy that's going to take off and run all over the place if pressure gets in his face. It's also going to be interesting to see the New York Jets wide receiver core out there. All right? About to have our guys out there go out there and handle business. Again, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Braxton Berrios. Listen, I want to see if a New York Jets wide receiver can get over 100 yards in this football game. And the guy that I think is going to be able to do it, I think is going to be Elijah Moore. I'm expecting some things out of Corey Davis, too. I want to see him really start his bounce-back season in this game as well. I think he's a guy that's going to get quite a bit of targets. But I'm expecting some big things out of Elijah Moore in this game because of the way I think he's going to be utilized, kind of moved around in that slot, used in that kind of that X factor to the offense. So we're going to see there. And I also want to see how the New York Jets run the football as well against the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's going to be really big for us, getting the running game going because, again, once we get the running game going, other things will open up behind that. We won't be one-dimensional. That was our biggest issue last season was we were very easy to defend. You just stacked the box. We couldn't run, and then they were just teeing off on our quarterbacks. And this season will not be that way if we can run the football effective again with Breece Hall and Michael Carter. So my final score prediction for the New York Jets against the Ravens, we're opening up at home. MetLife, baby. You know what I'm saying? I am going to take the New York Jets to beat the Baltimore Ravens 24-21. I am taking the New York Jets to beat the Ravens. I am. And I want to know what y'all think about that. All right? 24-21, I'm taking the Jets. We also started a poll as well. We're going to end it right now. Started a poll, man, and we're going to see what's going on with everybody, all the Savages. The Savages, I asked them, hey, do you think the Jets will beat the Ravens to start the season? And 60% of the Savages said yes. 60% said that they thought the New York Jets would beat the Baltimore Ravens. All right. You heard them. All right, folks. So now we're going to go ahead and close out the show. This has been a phenomenal show. Cannot wait to see this game. Jets, Ravens, so much to discuss. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shameless to promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. Again, YoungJ000. All right, follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, I'll have that Vera Tucker jersey on. All right? I will. Okay? Listen, Vera Tucker, we saw him dominate last season. Now we're moving him to the right side. Him and George Fant. I think we'll see him dominate this season as well. So, please, go ahead and follow me and follow you right back. And, troll, I'll be under that bridge with that jersey on. I'm just letting you know again. I'm also on YouTube as well. Go on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Hit that subscription button. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. And if you're going to troll me, no issues. Go ahead and get in those comments, and we'll go back and forth on there as well. All right. Show's page on Twitter as well as at the Long Beach Joe. And as always, people, when I see you in person, because I will eventually, when I see you in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. I want to thank you folks for listening, okay, and calling in. Without you folks, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the times out of your day to call into the show, to listen to the show, to comment on the show, all right? You folks are the absolute best. The absolute best, all right? You folks have a good one. Peace. One second, folks. All right, I should be back. Listen, salutes. I want to thank everybody for checking out the show, coming on by. Really enjoy doing the show. Really enjoy, having a lot of fun talking Jets with everybody. Again, for those of you that are new, exclamation point links in the chat brings up my link tree. That link tree gives you links to all of my content from my social media to all of my YouTube pages, and content's coming for that. My schedule is, oh man. But we'll get to all of that stuff, so please subscribe and hit that notification bell. We also do these shows year-round, all over, all throughout the year. We also do live watch-alongs. I'm going to let you guys know if we're going to be watching the Ravens Jets game, the Jets-Ravens game. This, of course, the first game of the season. I'll let you guys know coming soon. Again, please follow me across my social media platforms, and I will let you guys know. It's leaning towards yes, though. Right now, it's leaning towards absolutely. We're going to be watching it together. It's leaning that way, okay? My schedule gets weird, all right? So I'm just saying right now, it's leaning towards absolutely we're good to go. But I will absolutely let you guys know days ahead that we'll be watching the game together if we do, all right? But right now, again, it's leaning towards yes. So we do live watch-alongs. We have live radio shows after the game as well. So, please subscribe if you have not subscribed, and turn on your notification bell for this channel as well. We also game from time to time. I play all kinds of games on this channel, all kinds of stuff. We'll get back to that when my schedule allows. I enjoy doing that. Love, just having fun. So if you see me pop up and I'm playing a game, don't be like, whoa, what is going on? Is this an accident? No, it's not. we sit down, we have a lot of fun together, and we talk about, whatever, life, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on. So, so we do a lot of that stuff, and we have a lot of fun, man. So I got to get on out of here because got to get rolling. Salutes to everybody, man. Family Man says, love AVTs. Got to stop ducking his head during pass pro. Well, we'll see, Family Man. This season, I'm telling you, he's a beast, man. We'll see. But salutes to you, Family Man. I want to thank you for coming on by, checking out. Family Man also says, great show, Joe. Salutes. Thank you so much. Randilla says, ATV is the rock. Thank you so much, man. Salutes to you, Randilla. Thank you for coming on by. NY Jets FL says, great job, Joe. Great job as always, Joe. Congrats, as I see your channel sub count is going up. Are you, am I going live Sunday on post-game therapy show? Yeah, right now it's leaning towards yes, NY. It's leaning towards yes right now. So, but I will for sure let y'all know days before that, I'm going to be live with you guys. But right now it's leaning absolutely that I'm going to be doing that. So, so salutes to you, NY, as well. Good to see you in here. Good to see William Jones in here. William Jones says Conklin will pass 100 yards receiving off Hamilton. Ooh, yeah, a lot of people talking about Hamilton as well. We'll see. NY Jets FL, again, salutes to you. Again, salutes to William for coming on by. Salutes to GC. Good to see you in here. How about them Jets? Salutes to you as well. Salutes to Spin Max. Good to see you in here, man. The Hunter. Good to see you in here, too. JE. Good to see you in here as well, man. Salutes to everybody that just comes on by and talks to your boy. BK Trainer, Christopher Cancel, Dark Soldier, just everybody, man. Briox, salutes to you as well. My guy B, salutes to you. Salutes to JETS. Good to see you in here. Jets Unleashed. Mr. McMoney, man, everybody that just comes on by, says what's up to your boy, you know, and comes by and watches the show, man. I want to just thank y'all. I would just want to absolutely thank y'all for joining me, man. This is why I do the show. I love connecting with people. So I'm going to get on out of here. Listen, folks, be safe, okay? Be safe out here. All right, be safe out here. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this world. Don't ask me why it's happening because I don't know, okay? But it is crazy. I know y'all seeing all this stuff just like I'm seeing it, and it is wild, all right? Be safe out here. Sit down with your friends, your family, and, you know, make those moments. You know, enjoy some good food. Enjoy, you know, some good TV. Sit down and watch and make those moments, man, with your friends and your loved ones. Make those moments with them and let the people that you love know that you love them. That is extremely important. It's extremely important in this life, man. I always tell people that. You never know what good can happen. You never know. So make sure the people that you love know that you love them, all right? So I'm going to get on out of here. Listen, you folks have a good one. I'll let y'all know again, we're leaning towards yes for that Ravens and Jets game. So we'll more than likely absolutely be watching it together and having a lot of fun. So I'll see you